Hi, welcome everyone to TSCC Radio Broadcast. I'm Ben and I'll be the host for this month's broadcast sessions. This month we'll be doing a career interview with some of our church members, and today we have Hu Jing with us, and we are going to learn more about what does she do as a medical dosimetrist in Singapore National Cancer Centre.
Okay.
So Hu Jing, can you share with us a bit more about your career and how long have you been in this job?
Hi everyone, I'm Hu Jing. Yeah, as Ben has introduced, I'm a member of Seng Christian Church. I have been in church for more than 20 years, I think. Yeah, wow. And also in terms of my career, I've been into my 22 years of working at National Cancer Centre already.
Wow, that's a very long time.
Yeah,
yeah, but I think it's quite usual for medical industry to really stay all the way in the same field, right? Yeah. So actually, what made you go into the medical field in the first place?
That have to retrieve many years back in 1996. Yeah, in that year, I finished my high school in education in China. So it's something equivalent like a junior college in Singapore. Then I had my university entry exam, which is equivalent to your A-level exam. So I ended up in Hubei Medical University. And at the time, I learned about this opportunity that the Ministry of Health in Singapore, they are providing a scholarship for students from China come to Singapore to learn different aspects of careers, and then they provide full scholarship. So I was interested. So yeah.
Okay, but I think that time you briefly mentioned before that both your parents were also in the medical field, right?
That's right. So I mean, from young, I grew up in a hospital, not because I'm sick, but back in the olden, in many years in China, where the companies, the hospital, they also provide accommodation for the staff. So when I was young, my parents, they stay in the staff accommodation within the hospital compound. So I grew up in this environment, so I'm very familiar with the hospital settings. And yeah, so when I was young, I also have opportunity to follow my parents to their offices. I just observe how they sometimes, how they treat patients. And then quite often, I also hear my parents sharing about the stories happening at the workplace. Like my mom, she's a gynecologist, and then she was obstetrician and gynecologist. So she delivered babies. So sometimes he said, this one, is a very difficult case. The mother come, when they deliver, they lose a lot of blood. Then, it's in the life in the danger. Then she have go in and then do some procedure and manage to save both mommy and baby. Wow, I was like, wow, my mom is really like a hero. Yeah, my dad is a gastroenterologist. So he also quite often share, some of the patients that he treated. So from young, I kind of exposed to this hospital environment. So I knew about what are settings. I knew about the different departments, what they are do. So when this scholarship is being offered, so to me it's like, wow, it's in the medical field. So that's why I'm interested. Yeah.
So you're very fortunate that I don't think in Singapore we have a lot of this kind of arrangement where the whole family actually stays in the hospital. So just nice, from young you already got a lot of exposure, and you also get to really learn, I think, much more in advance than, would you say, your peers and all that, because you actually have the real life experience.
Right, but not about the knowledge, it's about most
experiencing
just experience
it,
to see what people do. Actually, I'm fortunate in that way, because it's now in China it's different, because now they are building those commercial private properties. So most of hospital staff, they will live outside. So not many are actually still live within the hospital compound. So I was considered kind of fortunate. Yeah, because for my parents are also very convenient for them to go to work, just 5 minutes working, then they are at the workplace already.
Yeah, so you really had it good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, generally, when people hear about medical field, right, they always think that, okay, it's about doctor or nurses. So in your current position, would you consider yourself like a doctor or a nurse?
Neither. I'm not doctor and I'm not nurses either. So I'm considered under allied health professional. So allied health professional is a special group that that work very closely with doctor and nurses. That we also provide for therapeutic care and also help to do investigation for patients. So it's like a part of the multidisciplinary groups in the hospital, in a medical care groups, so that we work together to provide holistic care for our patients.
So you can say it's a bit like an auxiliary function kind of thing.
Yeah, you're right. So
actually, maybe it's like maybe would you say that it's a better position than doctor and nurse?
No. I think each career, each profession has their own strengths, on their own specialty. So just for us, for me, I'm also just specialized in the radiotherapy field. So in terms of allied health profession, I mean, also, maybe I just want to share how I end up choosing the radiotherapy. So just back to in 1996, where the officers from Singapore Ministry of Health came to the university. So we went through a few rounds of interview. I mean, the first one is like written test to just ensure your English level is up to the standard. Then after that, then they will shortlist a group of candidates for the face-to-face interview. So during that time, they actually show us some of the videos about different careers, like they provided. Like for example, they provide the training for nurses. They also provide training for occupational therapists. They provide training for physiotherapists and also diagnostic radiographer, as well as the last one is the radiotherapy. So for me, when I look at the video, and also because my background, so I kind of know what exactly nurses do. So for diagnostic radiographers, I knew as well because there's the X-ray department in the hospital. So I know they are taking X-rays, taking CT scans, taking MRI to help to get the images. Then the doctor can, based on the image, can give a diagnosis. And also for occupational therapies and physiotherapy, I know they are the group of professional that specialize to help patient to regain the strength, also gain back the function after they for the disability or after some injuries. So I knew what are the other professional about, except for radiotherapy. And you know what? When they show in the video, I remember clearly in the video they actually show us a huge room, and off the light, and then there's a huge machine was rotating around the patient, and there's a laser. There's a green color laser or red
exactly
laser.
Like this picture.
Yeah,
exactly like this picture.
But of course,
right?
This is a much latest picture. But during those days, the technology, the machine are not as advanced as this. But the setting is similar. So it's like I have known nothing about radiotherapy except that I knew that it's only to treat cancer patients. And at that time, cancer, to most of us, we know that it's a very serious disease. Like we over here people pass away because of cancer. So to me, it's that I felt that there's a mission, there's some lot responsibilities that we can help this group of patients where to give them the treatment. And plus, I mean I feel like it's a very important job. And plus, the room that I from the video I see, wow, it's like a spaceship, so cool with the big technology, the machines and laser, wow. And back in China, not many hospitals can provide such service. One of the reasons is also because at that time, maybe the medical technology is not so advanced, and also the equipment are very, very expensive. So not all hospitals can afford. It's only those those top hospitals or those like very important hospitals, they can afford to buy such equipment. So to me, that's a very, very important job. Therefore, I'm without many knowledge, just a very superficial understanding. So without hesitation, I told the interviewer, "Sir, I want to learn radiotherapy." That's how I end up in learning radiotherapy.
I think they can see your passion and they didn't make a mistake because you are still inside for 20 years.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think I also want to ask, before we go dive into a bit more about radiotherapy, right? Because there's this movement that you actually move from China all the way to Singapore. It's a new environment, it's a new place, and mostly probably in English back then, is it? So was it challenging? Was it challenging to adapt? Or?
Yeah, indeed. When I was in China, unlike now, kids are already learning English from the kindergarten. I only started learning ABC when I was in secondary school, So along the way, we do learn English. 6 years of learning. So before we enter university, we can read, we can write, but our oral English is still not that good. So I can't really talk properly. Yeah. So when I came to Singapore, I'm very grateful that Ministry of Health actually as part of the scholarship, they provide the English education for us. Language, make sure we can adapt before we enter the formal training and Nanyang Polytechnics, which is 3 years formal courses.
Yeah, I can only imagine how hard it is because I know my Chinese is really cannot make it one. But then it's like imagine you have to learn all these medical terms and everything, but then in a language that you're not familiar with, so it's really very difficult. Yeah, but you made it anyway.
Yeah, I'm thankful for the experience. No regrets, never look back. Yeah, it is.
Okay,
good.
So a bit more about radiotherapy. So far you've been doing it for 20 years. So what exactly do you do in radiotherapy?
Oh, in radiotherapy, we have a lot of aspects. We have the doctors, nurses, radiation therapists, medical dosimetrists, medical physicists. We have different professionals to provide the care for cancer patients. So patient will go through the CT scan and the doctor will mark out where exactly the tumor is, and then we will do the radiotherapy planning to make sure the high dose to target at the tumor, but at the same time to minimize the damage to the surrounding normal tissues. And also the radiation therapists, once the plan has been carried out, the radiation therapists will carry out the treatment according to what we plan to give a precise treatment to make sure the radiation goes to the right place to kill the cancer cells. Yeah. So, and also nurses will provide care. So and the medical physicists actually will provide the machine maintenance, ensure everything, the machine are functioning accurately. So without each group, then we can't function. So everyone will play an important role to provide this care for patient.
I see. So there's a lot of different specialization in this one radiotherapy function only, and you have decided to go into medical dosimetrist, right?
Yeah.
So so how is it now that you are not just a medical dosimetrist, but you're also leading a team in medical dosimetrist?
Yeah, because I think I've been working for so many years, so kind of expected.
Senior of the senior.
Yeah, so I started as a radiation therapist. That was a picture showing when I was still a student. And those at that time, you look at the machine still. All these machines are no longer
So this picture back then, this machine, does it have the green laser or no?
Yes,
green? Already have the green laser already.
Yes, and this is a machine that we call linear accelerator. So you can go 360 around the patient's body, and then there's a couch. There's a the treatment table. Patient will lie on the table, and then the pendant. The control I'm holding that I can control the machine, how they move. How they move the table, and also on and off the laser to make sure that to position the patient in a very accurate position. So that's some of the pictures were taken during my student years.
So interesting that last time you started off from being the specializing in just the machine alone, and then now you're doing a lot more things like designing the treatment itself and all that. That's very interesting.
Yeah, because I find when carry out the treatment is one thing. Is that we need to have a lot of patient interactions, also provide patient care, and also. But now what I'm doing is more at a backstage job. So I don't have direct patient interactions, but rather at the behind the stage where I will help to design the treatment for patient, which is I feel very fulfillment that because I directly kind of make a decision how to give the best treatment for patient.
So basically so career progress wise, you actually shifted the discipline, right? But I'm pretty sure that there's also an education process throughout all the years. You have to go through quite a lot of things, right? So you started off from a diploma when you come over, and then subsequently, how did you move?
Yeah, subsequently, I started work for 1 year. Then I continue with the degree, just to be competent in the radiotherapy world. Then from there, I also started as an on-job training as the medical dosimetrist. Because at that time, there's no term, we call it a radiotherapy planner. We are doing the planning work. It's only after 3 years of on-job training where we are eligible to take the American board certification exam to become a medical dosimetrist. So that term actually we borrow from the American. So once we pass the exam, we get so we are certified a medical dosimetrist. Then I've been working full time. I mean, specialized in radiotherapy planning. Then in I think about 8 years ago, back in 2013, I also further my study in masters. Because in the radiotherapy field, it has progressed very rapidly. Machines are changing, the technology are changing, so we also have to keep up our learning as well.
So now are the machines still improving? Do you still have to go for more studies or?
The machine, yes, you will never stop improving, and the knowledge also we have to keep upgrade ourselves as well. Yeah. So we attend conferences or seminars just to ensure we are equipped with the most current knowledge, so we are able to provide the best care.
Okay, that's very good because today we just really want to know more about what you do exactly as a medical dosimetrist and in the field of radiotherapy.
Yeah.
So I think next week what we'll be sharing more about is more in-depth into radiotherapy because I think maybe there's some people, because cancer is so common in Singapore now, right?
Correct.
That people are worried that, if I suddenly get cancer, what kind of options are available? So tune in for next week. Next week, Hu Jing will be sharing more about certain, cancer statistics in Singapore, male, female, all these kind of things, and what kind of cancer treatments is available, and how is radiotherapy effective as one of the many treatments.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I'll be sharing in more in depth about technical parts about radiotherapy and also what I do as the medical dosimetrist. Yeah. Stay tuned. So we will see you next week.
Yeah, stay tuned for next week as we dive more into radiotherapy in depth.
Okay, see you next week.
See you.
Okay. Bye-bye.